In other news, human rights advocates are calling for new international climate law to protect tens of millions of folks worldwide they say are displaced from their homes because of natural disasters caused by climate change. Clean Sky's Dee Bambani is here with more. Dee.
Hi, that's right. Some climate experts claim that in the past year alone, an estimated 50 million people have been displaced. They say those will grow into the hundreds of millions by 2050. At a meeting of the American Society of International Law in Washington today, human rights advocates said protection might be on the way. It's likely to come in the form of a new convention that protects victims displaced by natural disaster that have to move across international borders. Human rights advocates talked a great deal about how a new climate change framework developed in Copenhagen in December needs to develop further to include protection for those displaced victims of natural disasters. The UN Secretary General's representative on human rights of internally displaced persons says he's working on that language that would offer real support to the victims. He says right now there are only two conventions to protect displaced people. The first, developed in 1951, only protects refugees that have to leave home because of persecution. The other convention was created in 1990 and protects migrant workers that have to leave their home country to find work. He says there needs to be something, though, for victims of climate change.
These people are not refugees, they are not persecuted by the government. That's why they are not protected by the 1951 Convention on the Status of Refugees. They are not economic migrants. There's a Convention on the Rights of Migrant Workers and their families. But migrant workers are people defined as those who are looking for a job in another country. These people are not looking for a job, they are looking for safety, they are looking for a place to live. It means we have a huge gap as regards those displaced across international borders, a gap that must be closed. We need new international law. We need a debate about what that law could be. And as long as we don't have that law, we need countries, governments to be ready to grant at least temporary protection to these people.
Nikhailin says he hopes world climate discussions in Mexico City in December of this year will flesh out the Copenhagen Accord to include legal protection for disaster victims. He said Copenhagen certainly created a fund to help developing countries adapt to climate change, but none of that cash is directed at people that have to start over in foreign countries. Susan?
Interesting. Dee Bambani, thank you.